Good morning, traders. Welcome back for another live technical analysis session about 5 minutes before the London Open. I'm currently on the GBP US dollar, and we are seeing some substantial changes in the markets. And this is this is mostly fueled by the speculation that the ceasefire deal with the US and Iran has somewhat been not nulled, but violated. And as a result, this could lead to more strikes and the conflict could begin getting heated again. And if that is to happen, what we're going to see is a DXY going up quite aggressively, pushing all of our major currencies into the downside. So, and we can kind of see this as well within these charts, whereby the price was moving up nicely into the upside. It was a really beautiful reversal about to happen. There was a really beautiful reversal happening into the upside, pushing up toward this potential supply zone. And then I think the news started to then break out where, okay, this deal is a little bit flimsy, and now we're starting to see a push back into the downside. So what you can already see here is that we are, if the deal doesn't go through and conflict is, a lot of tension is still there, then we're likely going to continue back into the downside. And so what we have seen is playing into our technicals is quite nicely with this push into the upside. It entered into this potential supply zone, which now I guess you can call a verified supply zone. And at this area was where the reversal started to happen. We had a nice breaker structure. I'm on the 4-hourly time frame. We had a really nice breaker structure into the downside and pushing it down into this 4-hourly potential demand zone. We are now beginning to see a bit of a reaction within this potential demand zone. And based on our supply and demand technical analysis, we should actually see the push going back up. And in reality, if that deal was going to go through with Iran and the US, then this is likely what we would see. We would see it come down, have this reaction with this demand zone now pushing to the upside. But as we know, that peace deal seems to be a little bit flimsy, and as a result, we're seeing, because you can already see that I'm in a potential position here. We may see that it has pulled back, and now it's going to drop even lower back into this verified demand zone before then seeing a reaction, hopefully not breaking that previous high and continuing into the downside toward this weekly demand zone down here, right? So that is kind of where I am at the moment with my trading setups on the GBP US dollar. Because I'm doing a top-down analysis here, so we're going to be looking at we can do the daily if you like, but we'll drop down from 4-hourly down into the 50 milli, and then we'll stay within those lower time frames while the London session begins. So on the euro dollar, we can see that the price very similar to the GU. It has come down. I guess this is a very big reaction to that news. It is now reversing trends into the downside because we were beginning to see a really nice push into the upside, breaks of structure, although failing to break up here. But we were beginning to see a really nice push into the upside. Liquidity then got taken here. It came obviously back down, and I think it was about to break, and then this is when the news started to come out, and so we started to see this push into the downside on the euro dollar, completely ignoring this verified tap in demand zone. And so that tells us that momentum does want to continue going down, and that's why on the previous daily market and live market sessions, I was aiming for this area here before a reaction was to take place. However, it seems as that it fell a little bit short and a reaction is starting to take place here. And now we're just in this horrible consolidating market. And we absolutely hate trading consolidation. When there's no clear trend, we don't really want to be playing around with a consolidating market. So because we're beginning to see that there could be the conflict could be rising again, so tension is increasing again, then what we want to wait for is to see these lows. I don't know why my PC stopped there. We want to see whether or not these lows get broken. If these lows do get broken, then what we're likely going to see is a potential tap in zone forming. There is none here at the moment. We need to wait for it. But we want to see that this gets broken. We want to see a tap in zone get formed. And then we'll likely want to see the price come back up into that zone again before entering into position. That is how I would play consolidation. Otherwise, I wouldn't be playing it at all. I really don't like trading consolidation whatsoever. So for the euro dollar, I'm actually not touching that for the time being. Let's head over to the US. Oh, we can see that the London session has just started. Let me just drop over to GBP really quickly because I wanted to take a look and see where we are on that open. I was hoping that there will be a little bit of hysteria. Why is that being deleted? I was hoping there'll be a little bit of hysteria on the London session when it opened, and we would see quite a lot of volume push us into the downside. It's okay. We'll come back to this. For the JU, again, this is a market I'm not looking at trading because of all the manipulation. If you were watching any of my daily market breakdowns, you know that a lot of this manipulation is caused by the BOJ, which is the Bank of Japan. They allegedly were pushing the price down to try and revalue their currency pairs, revalue their currency. And I think they got the second strike from the IMF for doing this. So this is not a currency pair that I want to be trading at all. It is going against the grain, so as to speak. But what we are seeing is before this huge push, I think that's the 160 level. Yeah, around the 160 level. Just before this push, after this push, we saw we can take this as our potential supply zone. And what we are seeing now in a really nice formation is this ascension back to the 160 level. And so we can see the manipulation here. We can see technicals are playing out quite nicely. And I'm still just waiting. I'm still just waiting to see whether or not it retraces back in here. Once it retraces back in here, I want to again wait and see what happens. If there's a nice reaction where there's a really good clean breaker structure on the higher time frames, then I'm likely going to continue into a short position on this currency pair into the downside. I'll probably do a 1 to 2.5, 1 to 2 on this though, even though it could go a little bit lower, grabbing a lot of the liquidity, this internal liquidity that is likely resting below all of these lows. That is the only thing I'm waiting for the JU. It could go through this supply zone. It could continue into the upside, but that is the setup that I find to be the highest probability for this pair because of all of this manipulation. So I'm not touching this currency pair at all for the time being. I'm just waiting to see what is going on with it. So let's head over to the DXY. What we're going to see is... I know you guys might be thinking this is a lot of information here, but you can ignore a lot of that for the time being. What we have seen is it has played very nicely on our technicals where we have seen that the price had come down, it had pushed up, it broke market structure with a full body candle break. Remember, a wick break is a weak break, so we want to see full body candle breaks to really verify that these zones are either supply or demand zones. It pushed up, continued to break structure, continually pushed up, and then it started to struggle around here. And remember, this is technically this is now a verified supply zone, but we were waiting to see what the reaction was going to be like within this unverified supply zone, and we can see that the reaction was kind of what we were looking for, although the price came up and then started entering into consolidation. And again, we just do not want to be playing with consolidation. What I have been seeing, if you guys are familiar with harmonic Elliott wave, the harmonic Elliott wave strategy, a friend of mine has been saying that he has analyzed this to show that the DXY has potential to continue pushing up. So based on that information and based on the fact that we're not breaking these lower lows, then we could, and with the ceasefire potentially falling through, or the US and Iran having their issues, then we're going to see a surge in this move into the upside. So I'm very cautious about taking any short positions on the DXY, even though it was in this supply zone, right? Remember, I'm on the 4 hour. So in fact, if you guys had actually, if we zoom in and if you guys had actually looked at liquidity being taken above these highs and done 1 to 2, 1 to 3 risk to reward ratios on a lower time frame, shorting this position, you would have actually TP'd, which was fantastic. But the trend doesn't seem to be changing. That's what I'm concerned about. We're not seeing a change in trend. We're not seeing it push down. We're not seeing it go below the 200 EMA. And this is telling me that the DXY may continue going into the upside. So we do not want to go against the trend. So I'm just waiting on that one for a little bit more information to come out about those geopolitical issues before doing anything. I know this week the U.S. is having their GDP second estimate macroeconomic data coming out. So remember, it's only an estimate. It's not reality. So that could have a little bit of an impact. I think that what they're forecasting it to be a lot stronger than the previous quarter. Again, that would push the DXY up even higher as well. So it's very important, again, to stay on top of the macroeconomic news that is out there as well. Let's head over to gold. A lovely trend down. This is what we've been waiting for. I think on those previous sessions, because we're just seeing beautiful, full body breaks of structure. On gold, it's trading below the 200 EMA. It is just trading so nicely. Although again, we're in a bit of consolidation, but we are on the 4-hour frames. We saw a really nice break of structure here. I can just mark it out. Really nice break of structure. That's a full body candle break on a 4-hour frame. What I would have wanted to see is that this price slowly retrace back up to here, and then that would have been my tap in to continue riding this down. But we're not seeing that at the moment, and so I'm not entering at this point in time, because what we are seeing is a bit of price action on these candles at the moment because of these lows. So what we might end up seeing is maybe a retracement to the 0.5 fib, or we might see a retracement all the way back up to that potential little demand area, supply area there. So we could see the price come up to the 0.5. That would stop me out if I entered into a short position right now, or we might see it come up to that potential supply zone. Regardless, these are my two setups, right? What could happen is the price comes up and then we'll see a reaction at the 0.5 fib. We'll see a nice break of structure of one of the previous lows, while the market is, ascending like this. We're gonna produce a little low here, and then we might see a full body break of that low. And then that's my signal. Okay, I'm going to enter into a short position. If it continues going up past the 0.5 fib, then I would just be waiting for it to enter into that potential supply zone before entering into any trades. But I would likely be looking for short positions on XAU this week. Depending, so long as this high doesn't get broken, then I would be looking for those short positions. That is how I would be playing it. Heading over to BTC, BTC is having a really rough time because it sounds like a lot of people are liquidating their BTC, well, their Bitcoins. I heard that quite a lot of dormant wallets have started liquidating, I think $200 to $300 million, that's going to have an impact, and it could be this volume that we're seeing at the moment here, but we're seeing a lot of people liquidating there on BTC. So I had said in previous videos, I would not be surprised if we hit the 90,000 mark on BTC this year. And I still am hopeful for that. I mean, we're only in May. But it seems we're going to be having a lot of struggle at the moment. Having a lot of struggle here. So I don't really want to play around with BTC so much. Again, it's kind of come down into a bit of consolidation. There's no clear sign where it wants to go, because what we're seeing here is, let's take this as our high. I'll mark this out. Let's take this as our high. We can see the price fail to break that high. And that means, sure, maybe we can see what happens here, but I wouldn't take this as a demand zone. So we can already see that there is a bit of a reaction because the price had re-entered into this zone here. But even if it comes up and it fails to break, then I think we're likely just going to continue into the downside and probably re-enter one of these previous demand zones down here. That would be my take on BTC if the market remains risk off, remains very risk off at the moment. Why can't I delete this? Here we go. Yeah, so I mean, if the market remains a bit risk off, especially in times of uncertainty, then we're likely not going to see BTC pushing up aggressively for a good couple of weeks. But again, that can all change in a matter of minutes. But I'm not looking for long positions. I am just going to wait and see. I'm just going to wait and see. I want to see what happens when it enters into the zone, which it is having a price action reaction. And then I want to see what that reaction does. Does it break? If it breaks above, okay, then maybe we're going to be forming a new area where we can look for long positions. If it fails to break, then I'll be looking for short positions. Simple. All right. So back over to GBP USD. I'll drop down to the hour frame so we can kind of see what's happening. Okay, well, we can see quite a substantial amount of volume was happening, and that's clearly the European session entering, creating this oddly thick doji candle, which is a potential reversal candle, but we usually take those on the lower frames, not the 1 hourly frame, so that should be perfectly fine. What we are seeing is a lot of long wick uncertainty here. So all of these long wicks are signaling to us that the market is uncertain about which way to go. And so we can take advantage of this because it's telling us that, yes, the market is at this point in time thinking about, well, maybe we should continue into the downside because we're seeing a lot of rejection. We're seeing no new higher highs. We're not seeing any breaks of structure here. This is a relatively okay sign to me, although I shouldn't have really entered this position without full confirmation. I guess the confirmation now, we can drop down to the 15-minute frames and then we'll look for potential confirmation there. So the confirmation now would likely be around here. Let me just change the color. Confirmation now would likely be here or here. These would be our two lows that we'd want to break. Once we see a full body break, you could either wait for a bit of a retest or you could just enter with a really decent stop loss above these previous highs here. And then target this demand zone resting below this area. That's how I should have played it, but I did not sit on my hands, did I? So at this point in time, hopefully we'll see the GU pushing into the downside. That means ultimately we'll see the DXY pushing into the upside. We could take a look at a slightly... Oh, did the chat disconnect? Oh, it is connected. It's back again. We could take a look at the daily. Yep. So we can see quite a strong trend reversal. I apologize with all of these, all of this mess down here. It's because I'm overlaying 3 strategies of one to try and align them for confluence. So just ignore that for the time being. But what's really important is this red 200 EMA. So I'll switch it on and off. There we go. So you can kind of see this red 200 EMA. We can see that it has gone over it. And we are producing higher highs. And we have broken this horrible manipulative candle. I think that was a 1 minute candle as well that pushed all of that up. It was a horrible day that day. But we have broken up. We've broken above that area at the moment. And so this is potential signal that the DXY does want to continue into the upside, ultimately pushing all of our major pairs into the downside. What we can also look at, I guess, is crude oil. I do not analyze it, but it's good to look at it because it kind of gives us a good indication of whether or not the conflict is going to continue. If we see oil prices surging, then this means the markets are they're thinking that the conflict is going to continue, you know, and so oil prices will increase. So it's a pretty good way for us to indicate whether or not how the market is feeling about, well, the overall market, and what's happening in that sense. So we are seeing a little bit of a push. Previously, we did see a bit of a push up. I'm assuming that's when the news came out. It was broken. What about yesterday? Yeah, Monday and Tuesday. We're on Wednesday now. So Monday and Tuesday is that push up. I was kind of hoping to see a really aggressive push into the upside, but I guess that's not happening. The markets are feeling a little bit less insecure, I guess, about the potential conflict continuing. We can take a look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's doing very, very well at an absolute all-time high. The trend is just, just going absolutely incredibly high. This is fantastic news for me because I'm a long-term investor as well. So Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 are all on me. I do not do analysis of futures. So if you're looking at EQ minis, you know, the Nasdaq E-mini futures, then I don't have it on here. I won't be doing analysis for futures contracts. Although, you know, who knows? Maybe AIFO one day will offer futures trading to our prop traders in the future, but that is something that I personally do not touch. All right, so it seems as though the market is in a very indecisive period of time, and all we can do is sit on our hands and wait. But that is my general technical analysis of the markets at this point in time. JU, so USD to JPY, we're seeing that slow climb into the upside. And hopefully, if the DXY also continues into the upside, then we know where the JU is going to go, where the next reaction is going to happen. And if we do see the JU going up, if we see the DXY going up, then hopefully we're going to see this pushing down, and we know where the next reaction is going to happen. So those are the reasons why I personally am looking at price going down, basically, because that based on that technical analysis, that fundamental analysis, is telling me that there's a likelihood that it's going to go down instead of going up, and that's all it is. That's all there is to it. Euro dollar, yeah. So, okay. This kind of this was on the 15. It's a lot of pressure there. It just doesn't want to go up, does it? Yeah, it's just that's a big rejection there. That's on the 15-minute frame as well. I thought I left a marker. Didn't I leave a marker of what I was looking to see broken? Well, regardless, it would have been the daily anyway, but you can see on the daily it's pushed up. Again, it failed to break that high. It failed to break these highs. We're trending down. You see? A descending slope. Descending. We're going down. Although I must admit, gosh, look at these ascensions though. Ooh. Kind of makes me worried, that. See, look at that. Ooh. Ascending and descending, what we're looking at then, what that would form is a bearish pennant, right? Because it's coming down, and I'll draw it out for you guys so you can kind of see. This is what you're seeing. That's a terrible example. That's a terrible drawing. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, got that there. Got that there. Okay, I should have really come out a little bit. There we go. Kind of see. That's the pattern shape. It's like an inverted flag. That's a bearish pattern. If you guys were interested. Any of you doing stock trading candlestick patterns, then you know what that pattern is signaling that it wants to go down. You know, so. But obviously everything is subjective to the trader, so you might be seeing a different pattern to me, but that's what I can see now. Head back to USD JPY, highly manipulative currency pair. It's quite interesting that we can actually see the community as well. I think, oh yeah, it's here. It's on the live stream, so you guys can also see the community. I'll be honest with you, I don't want to really call anyone out within this community, but I have noticed quite a lot of people putting in these. For example, they put in sell, entry, stop loss, take profit, risk to reward, blah blah blah. Why this setup, and then they give some AI generated conclusion. But what I've noticed about a lot of these kind of things that are going around on the communities is that they are posting their setups. They're posting their setups after the setup has happened. So I wouldn't follow these types of people. I think what they're trying to do is just get a lot of people to follow them and believe that they, you know, are actually giving you the right signals and get you into like Telegram channels and try and sell you something. So you got to be really careful with that, guys. That's really, really important. And besides, you have to be a scalper and you have to be in the market incredibly quick for this. It's like 159.05 to 158.92. That's like, what is that? It's like 8, 9, that's like 13 pips. Really? That's insane. How can you profit? Like, I mean, sure, maybe if you're a quantitative trader, sure, but you wouldn't be how would you enter that position on such a lower time period of time? It's ridiculous. Yeah, just a little bit more here. Somebody writing, oh, somebody writing a bearish setup. Oh, 3 hours ago, people said that there's a bearish setup. Okay, interesting. Some people are saying this is going to go down. Maybe it will. Who knows? Sure as hell this guy doesn't. Still missing a leg up, waiting for it, and then a deep correction down. I am somewhat with that guy at the moment. Hopefully we'll see a really nice leg up into the upside. How are we looking on GU? I'll drop down to the hour frames now because we don't really want to do that's usually how we'll do our analysis, right? We'll do a higher time frame top-down analysis. Sure, we can look at the weekly and the daily, but we don't need to go there on these live streaming sessions. What we mainly want to just be looking at is, okay, what are the potential setups for today or throughout this week? And then when London session starts, which is when a big portion of Forex volume enters the market, that is then how we want to basically watch and play on the lower time frames. Otherwise, we'll just be, if I'm looking at the daily frame, we'll just be looking at one candle moving up and down all day. So best to kind of keep it on the lower frames. Quite a lot of people have asked what's a good correlation between the time frames that you use. Quite honestly, I look at the daily for overall trend. I look at the 4-hourly for some indication of a potential reversal, looking for my supply and demand zones on the 4-hourly, and potential liquidity areas. And then kind of on the hourly, I'm looking at just monitoring any positions as well as confirmation. 15-minutely, I usually take a look at that for, like, if there's a strong push down and it breaks market structure, and there's usually a really slow. I'll actually show you guys. I'll show you guys. So, like, for example, right, we see this all the time, and let's say it broke structure there, and we're on the 15-minutely. What I do is I draw out the last 2 candles before this break had happened, as in the previous high of, so I'll be looking at the 2 high candles, and I'll just draw this little zone. And so on the 15-minute frame, I'll just be waiting for something like this to happen. And then if I'm zooming out on, let's say, the hourly or the 4-hourly, oh, I can see this light change color, likes to change color on its own. If I then zoom out and I can see a lot of price action, so very long wick candles on the higher time frame, then this I would take as my tap in zone, you see? And then that's when I would be looking at doing my trading, targeting 1 to 2.5. That is usually my usually the range I go with. It's 1 to 2.5. And then hopefully what we end up seeing is something like yeah, keeps me on edge all the time when it's around there. But that's what I mean by lower time frame and just doing that lower time frame analysis. But that's what I use the 15-minute frames for. We can drop down to 15-minute here. Ooh, big Marabouzo bullish candle into the upside on the 15-minute. But was volume there? It was. Oh, okay. Yeah, pretty good volume. What we can also do is I can take the top of here and the low of there, and basically we can take a look at where the volume is playing with on these lower frames. So what this is showing me is kind of where a lot of the volume is being, like which areas are seeing the most amount of volume happening. And obviously it's going to be here because we can see 2 adjacent candles. We can see these 2 candles here. So of course this is a high impact zone. If the price is failing to break above this area, right, then it is kind of likely it will just continue going down because it's getting rejected all the time, right? Market psychology. If it breaks that area, then okay, I'm in trouble. I'm going to get stopped out, obviously. And then I think this white line here, really should change that color, but that white line right there is the point of control. That is where if the price retraced here and you were looking to enter the position into a short, you think it's going to go down, then that would likely be the area you'd want to take a look at. You probably wouldn't want to be shorting around here, no, because we're seeing come down and it pushes back up. It's come down, push it back up. So it's now at this stage here. What do we expect to happen? Well, a push back up. Hopefully it doesn't do that. I hope it breaks below here, full body candle break, and then I will be putting my feet up because I'm kind of feeling confident that it will continue down. Oh, this is a 3.1 to 3.8. Okay, well, we'll see. I'll probably exit this position around the weekly open anyway, but because it will probably have a reaction down at this level here. This is probably where we'll see a bit of a reaction, mainly because these are previous lows. Let me remove this indicator for you. Yeah, we'll probably see a bit of a reaction below here anyway. There's a lot of resting liquidity here. It's gonna have a rough road down if it does go down. It's gonna have a pretty rough road. All right, so hopefully it doesn't break that high. Let's head back to the DXY. Oh, horrible on the 15 frame, descending down. Luckily, this what we're seeing here on candlestick patterns is a potential descending wedge, and our descending wedge has quite a lot of resting liquidity, and descending wedges are bullish. So hopefully it goes up and grabs all that before going down if it wanted to. That would play very, very, very nicely on the GBP USD. Hopefully we see this going up. Looks like people are a little bit more. Okay, the peace talks are going ahead. So I could be wrong here. Could be wrong on GU. Oh, well. Yep, similarly, euro dollar is trying to push up, struggling quite aggressively, if I might add. Usually, a lot of traders out there might have taken this area as a liquidity area. And let's see, ooh, yes, two little liquidity areas. No wonder there's such a big reaction here. Again, not a pair I want to be trading at the moment, not with this consolidation. I'm not feeling that consolidation at the moment. So, connect to BTC. Okay, some risk on investors are coming in, pushing the price up very slightly. What are we on at the moment? Pushing up. Yeah, just pushing up slowly. Like if we see some nice breaks here, then what I would generally do is I'll probably take this region here as one of my zones that I'd want to wait for. If I wanted to enter into a long position, I'll probably take one of those like lower zones over there. What's this? Oof, that's a big candle. That's a lot of volume right there. So back to the GU. Someone's entering a position. Oh, somebody's entering long. Okay. On the hour. Oh, on the minute. On the minute? Is that a minute chart that that guy just showed? Oh yeah, I think it was, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, if he's entering on the minute, good for him. Yeah. Well, see how that plays out. It's quite fun watching the community and watching other people's trades. I think it's really good. It's a bit of a shame, really, that it's a bit of a shame that that it's not more conversational. I think there are some really good trading communities out there where you can just talk and join some live sessions. Eventually, AIFO will love to have something like that where we can just have people pop in on the call while we're trading, join these live market sessions. That'll be really, really awesome. And then if you guys have any questions, we can just go through it together and take a look at our setups together. All right, so we saw this really sharp Marubozu candle, and now we're seeing the slow drip back down. So I guess this could represent a potential fake breakout. Come on, DXY, go up. Need to have a win today. That'll be fantastic. I'll drop back out to the hourly. We can see a bit of a struggle here. We can see some ascending lows, which is nice. We got another 30 minutes on this candle. So long as it closes in the green, it's just going to be consolidating. Oh, what a slow market today. We need to see something like this happen. We need to see some very clear, strong trend breaks, but doesn't seem to be happening at the moment. It'd be great if we saw this type of structure. And over gold. Because what we're looking at on gold at the moment are potential shorting positions. That was a pretty nice trade. That I deleted the risk to reward, and I didn't enter it, but the prediction was pretty good. When can gold go bullish again? Oof, that is a question, huh? Well, I guess it goes bullish when the trend changes. Oh, look at this. Ooh, nice manipulation here. Really strong volume into the upside, but strong candle into the upside, but no volume. Nice. That was at. Oh, that was on. Oh, that's why. Because this was the Friday, and then this was the Sunday. People started buying a lot more gold. Yeah. These we're just seeing breaks of structures here. Breaks of structure, break of a previous low, another break of a previous low, trying to come up, not breaking any of these previous highs. This is looking bearish anyway. Maybe it might break down here, who knows? Somebody's saying should be bullish, right? US oil is dropping. Euro is strong. DXY is weak. Gold, have you taken enough liquidity already? I mean, I wouldn't say DXY is weak. I think, if you take a look at it from this perspective, it's been trending up quite aggressively, if I might add as well. You can just see what is happening in terms of those talks. It's very speculative. And that's what this consolidation likely is, And so I wouldn't say that this was. I want to delete some of these. There we go. Too much analysis happening here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we are trading above the 200 EMA here on the 4-hour frame, so I wouldn't say that DXY is weak. It just broke a previous high. It has entered a supply zone, an unverified supply zone. I guess verified now because we did see a sharp reaction here. Came up and it broke market structure again. That should have actually continued into the upside, but it didn't. So I'm guessing news stopped that, or news sentiment stopped that, but nope, I wouldn't say it's weak. Well, I think it's weak on the weekly. Yeah, it's been trending down by quite a lot. This is yeah, from January 25. Gosh, oh, if you had entered into a short position from there, wow, just rode it down. My goodness, so much profit. Yeah, I mean, technically on the weekly, we are in a downtrend. Technically on the weekly. On the these are the really higher time frames. On the daily, we have swapped from downtrend to potential reversal. So that is certainly something there that we need to be paying attention to. And where we could see the price end up going is maybe the 100.1-ish area if it continues upward before seeing a reaction into the downside. For hourly, again, trading above the 200. So let's head over to GU. Oh, back to GU. It's not having a. I mean, sure, it's on its way down a little bit, but you know, a little bit more volume and a little bit more pressure into the downside, please. That'd be great. We just got some people saying that they're going long on these positions, and I really wouldn't blame them. I really wouldn't blame them because on the 4 hourly, we have entered a potential demand zone. And we know this because when price was last here, it shot up and it broke all these market structures on the way. And we can also see that when the price did retrace back here, although we should have seen a little bit of a nicer price action candle here, we can see a potential push back into the upside. So I wouldn't blame you for entering long positions from this area, from this zone. I really wouldn't. In fact, I was on the fence as to whether entering into long, but because the US started to apparently attack, some parts of Iran again, it prompted me to enter into a short position instead. Euro is having a bit of an issue here. Possible bullish targets 1, 6. Ooh, okay. Okay, why this position? Oh, targeting liquidity. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that playing out. 685. It's gonna be another liquidity spot, isn't it? No? Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah. I could see that playing out as well. Okay. So this guy is suggesting that price is going to go up, basically continue going up to I'll mark this out because it's pretty good to kind of follow some people's ideas. 6660. Okay. That's this guy's first target. Oh, it's a trend line. And 1685. My goodness, why can't I see this? Ah, here we go. 1685. Okay, close enough. This is what this guy is suggesting. Okay. We can wait and see for that. Sellers worked hard just to become exit liquidity. A lot of people are against shorting at the moment, aren't they? A lot of the community makes me feel a bit worried. Okay, I guess a lot of people are quite bullish here. Maybe they are. Again, I wouldn't. I'm not. I wouldn't blame them. I completely get that because we're beginning to cross over. We're seeing ascending highs, but I don't know. I just have a feeling it's not gonna it's gonna go down based on my analysis, at least. Um, all right, USD JPY. So that means the DXY is on its way down at the moment as well. That means the GU is on its way up, which is oh, it's not happening yet, but we might see a reflection of that in just a moment. Uh, market shift on bullish. Let's see. Please make your own analysis. Okay, at least somebody's saying that. That's good. See if there's anybody talking in BTC. Bottom soon. Entry long after breakout. Okay. I'm waiting for people here to finally give some credit for the impending 30K. Okay. Adding more longs, 85K before the end of the week. That's not gonna happen, mate. Whoever wrote that, that's definitely not gonna happen by the end of the week. Okay. So what? 2 days time. That's not gonna happen. 7,300 and below, loading just now. Oh, okay. Well, I would leave these guys to their own devices on the way they want to play BTC. Leaked news that Iran is preparing to issue an official statement rejecting its agreement with the USA and intends to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed until its conditions are met. This is expected to drive oil prices sharply higher while putting significant downward pressure on gold in the coming 2 to 4 hours. Is that right? Well, luckily we're seeing a push down. I mean, that's good, but I don't think it was because of this individual writing that out. Oh, somebody's upset. Trading gold has basically become gambling. No technicalness, no fundamentals. It doesn't care about supply or demand, FEG, etc. It's just pure manipulation. During this time, you could see it in that way. You could see it in that way because obviously we're in very uncertain times, and so because of that, and yes, we would um, see it looking a little bit like manipulation. But it's just uncertain times. This is how the market reacts when things are not certain. And if you can't navigate it, don't trade it. Don't trade it if it's uncertain. Like, I mean, if a peace deal was formed and made and things were back to normal, then it should return to your original technical analysis strategies. Um, BTC's up, DXY. Let's see if there's anything happening on DXY. Nope, nothing is happening on DXY. And the GU. I'll drop down to the 15-minutely so that we can kind of see. Um, oh, hey, euro dollar. Here we go. There is a bit of a push up. Remember that guy was saying something about taking profits up here? Be quite interesting to see if that actually played out. Does seem to still be struggling to break these previous highs though on the euro dollar. All right, well, already been doing this for about 45 minutes, looking at the markets. I mean, in the first hour, first 2 hours of the London session, that's when we usually see quite a lot of the movements. But I think I think they're just waiting on some key news about something, before we see any dramatic movements. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna stay on the GU for the time being and take a look and see if any news is coming out. No, there's nothing specific that's come out, so I don't know what that individual said. Um, 2 minutes ago, UK regulator raised energy prices by 13%. Oh, that's not very good for the UK. Oh, good. Should go down then. Um, no, there's nothing coming out about any rejection of the peace deal. I don't know what that individual was talking. Distrust toward America. Yeah, of course, that's the statement Iran will likely go with. Um, I'll be quite surprised if they say we trust them wholeheartedly. Um, kills, okay, that's in Lebanon. Yeah, there's nothing that's come out about any rejection of that peace deal. So I don't know. I don't think that what that individual was saying in the gold chat um is correct. Leaked news. Yeah, I think this individual is lying. Yeah. Yeah, this is false news. So I wouldn't be trusting that. Ha, blah blah. Okay, well, somebody already replied to that individual. Uh, Great. Gold is on its way down. Fantastic. So if you were looking for those shorting positions, then there you go. Not bad. DXY is pushing up quite aggressively. This is a really good sign. And GBP should be on its way down aggressively, which again is a really good sign. We want to continue that momentum into the downside on GBP USD. We can see a really clean breaker structure there, guys, signaling that we may continue downward toward that potential demand zone. So hopefully this shorting position, this trade plays out quite nicely today, especially for myself. We'll see. You know, personally, I've not been. I didn't trade. I did a few trades last week, and I had a pretty awful losing streak, really. So you know, can really demotivate you to trade. But just taking a shot in the dark on one of my accounts with this one. Uh, it's pretty good to keep the news up as well. There's quite a lot of information coming out of Lebanon, but I don't think that has a direct impact on the U.S. negotiations. 10 minutes ago. Yeah. Some information about that there is a deadlock on those talks. So as you can see, I mean, the market is moving speculatively these days, which is very can be quite frustrating. But you know, if you're on that side, if you're staying constantly up to date with the news, then you might be able to take advantage of it. Maybe. I haven't been doing so well in taking advantage of it because whenever I enter into those positions based on what I believe the news sentiment is, always goes the opposite way for some reason. So we'll see. All right. Yeah, at least GU is moving down quite nicely. We'll be waiting for the next 8 minutes. Next 8 minutes, and then we should see this as a full body break, which would be really good. But it needs to remain a full body break in order for us to show a bit more confidence that it will continue into the downside. So hopefully we can just we'll wait there and see whether or not it continues going down. It's moving on. There we go. Yeah. Days like this can feel a little bit slow. Um, let's take a look if there are any other comments across the TradingView community. Hmm. A lot of people keep saying that DXY is down, but I don't, I don't understand what what they're basing this off of. I think they're looking at two lower time frames. You know, a lot of people within the community keep saying the DXY is down. It's not, it's up. I'm a little confused what they're saying. Like overall on the weekly, fine, it is down. On the lower time frames, yes, fine, it's down. But the medium frames, no, it's up. It's showing potential trend reversal. So I don't know what people are saying that the DXY is down. It's very odd to me. GBP USD is on its way down. This is nice. Crude is going up. No? Well, I thought when we were looking at this earlier, it was at like $90. Now it's at 91, or maybe I was looking at the wrong numbers there. But yeah, well, you can see crude coming down quite a bit. Nasdaq is not open, S&P is not open because Nasdaq's not open, so we can't look at those stocks. But yeah, gold hopefully should be pushing itself down and continue going down. Some people here are saying yes, it is pushing down. Another individual is saying what? TP 4470. Gosh, they're trading at such low frames. Okay, well, at least this one hasn't already come out and somebody is saying that. That's their target. Okay. And 4470. Oh, for goodness sake. 4470. I just wanted to mark that out. Ooh, okay. We can see whether or not this individual's trade plays out. It's quite likely, but good Lord, you need to be on a really high contract size to make any profit from that move. High risk, very, very high risk. DXY, nice, very strong push into the up. GU is pushing down quite nicely. We got another 3 minutes until this candle closes. If the candle closes with a full body break, this is it's a really good sign for me, at least, that we may see a continuation. So that's another 2 minutes until that happens. Euro, what's going on here? Oh, okay. So maybe that guy was a bit wrong in those 2 TP areas. I mean, trading is a very difficult game. It's a very hard one to master. Even myself, I'm not a complete master at the markets, but certainly getting there. JU, I'm on a really low time frame here, struggling to break that high, but I think once it breaks that high, yeah, we'll see that continuation upward. Especially if the DXY continues up, then I think JU will eventually retrace back into that previous 160 yen level to $1. Okay, while DXY is moving aggressively up, hopefully we're going to see that breaker structure occur soon. There we go. Yep, it's good movement. Keep the momentum. Keep going. 50 seconds. That's okay. The last candle, hopefully, we can see here. It's a shame no one's writing in the TradingView community for the GU. I don't think there's a bank holiday over there at the moment. Like 20 seconds. Okay. This is pretty good. It's quite promising. Hopefully we'll see this. We just want to see this candle close full body break below that yellow line that I've put there, and that will signal pretty nice little bit of extra confirmation for me that it may continue going down. 2, 1, boom, great, there we go. Extra confirmation has been formed there, so that's nice. Even if we see this pushing up again, I don't think it's going to break these previous highs at all. Now we kind of want to see it break this low here, and then I should be, home free to getting TP'd today. So that's basically what I'm waiting on there. Let's see how the DXY played out, because a new hourly candle has also been formed. Oh, okay. It's crashing a little bit here. Trading views going down. Read to all the newbies is really makes me stressed. Chelsea fan. Okay. Uh, okay. What if I ended up back on GU? Get off GU for a minute. Oh, what happened to my trading charts? Seems it doesn't want me to look at the hour candle. Here we go. DXY is pushing up quite nicely there. Let's have a look at the hour. Yeah, okay. Well, we still got a long way to go. This could be the pullback before pushing up and continuing the trend into the upside. Okay, well, I'll leave it there. Well, guys, there it is, really. Like, as you guys know, I only really do the hour of the live stream, and throughout this hour, you're all more than welcome to ask me questions and discussions about even your potential trading setups. This is all purely just technical analysis, and I'm not here to advise you on what to trade and how to trade. It's just teaching you guys what it looks like in the market in real time. So, regardless, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this live streaming session, and we do this every week, so look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday. If you feel free to join, and of course, next time just ask any questions, and you can talk to us in our community channels as well. If you have any questions about trading or AIFO or prop trading, just in general. So, anyway, thank you guys. I'll leave it there, and well, good luck trading.